Welcome everyone to our channel where today we dive deep into the fascinating world of coin collecting and hidden treasures that may be sitting right in your pocket change. And in this video we are going to explore the story of the 1991 1-penny USA coin that has been known to be valued at an astonishing 54 cents million. A price tag so vastly different from its humble face value of just a single cent that it captures the imagination of collectors, historians, and everyday people alike who might dream of finding such a rare piece. And as we unfold this long story, we will not only look at how such a coin can exist but also at the errors, mistakes, mint mark anomalies, and possibilities that give rise to such astronomical worth, because behind every valuable coin there lies a history of minting processes, technical oversights, human error, and sometimes sheer chance that together create the conditions for a coin to transcend its ordinary status and become a sought-after treasure in the world of numismatics. So let us begin with the basic fact that the 1991 penny was part of the Lincoln Cent series, which has been produced for over a century, featuring the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse until later design changes, and during its production millions upon millions of pennies were struck by the US Mint. So one may wonder how a single specimen could rise above this ocean of ordinary coins and command more than $500,000, and the answer lies in the realm of minting errors. Because coin errors occur in many forms such as double die strikes, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, repunched mint marks, wrong planchette strikes, and even variations in composition or alloy which can occur when leftover planchets from previous years or different denominations accidentally make their way into the presses. And for the 1991 penny, the story revolves around a highly unusual minting mistake, combined with anomalies in its mint mark that together make it extraordinary, with collectors speculating that the coin was struck on a planchette that was not intended for a penny of that year, possibly involving a leftover copper planchette at a time when most pennies were composed of copper-plated zinc, because by 1991 the US Mint had long transitioned from the 95% copper cents that were standard until 1982 into primarily zinc cores with a thin copper plating, yet errors involving leftover copper blanks continued to surface on rare occasions, and if a 1991 penny were struck on one of these heavier copper planchets it would instantly be a standout rarity, further intensified by any doubling on the date or the mint mark that could be spotted under magnification. And this brings us to the matter of mint mark errors, because in 1991 mint marks were still being punched into the dies manually before the transition to machine-engraved mint marks, meaning that the possibility of repunched mint marks, misaligned punches, or doubled impressions was still very real, and collectors who specialize in error coins place immense value on such oddities, especially when they intersect with other mistakes. So when a 1991 penny appears with both a wrong planchette composition and an anomalous mint mark, the combination pushes its rarity and desirability into the stratosphere. And that is why such a coin can leap from being worth just 1 cent to fetching a market value of $540,000 or more, because rarity, historical intrigue, and collector demand converge in dramatic fashion. And to understand why collectors would pay so much, one has to appreciate how the coin collecting world works, since collectors often seek to complete sets not just of years and mint marks but also varieties and recognized errors, and when there are only a handful or perhaps just a single known specimen of a particular error, the demand becomes intense, with auctions turning into competitive bidding wars that drive prices to remarkable heights. And in the case of the 1991 penny in question, reports suggest it may be one of the few, if not the only example of its type, giving it the aura of a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And beyond the technical aspects lies the human fascination with mistakes and anomalies, because people are naturally drawn to imperfections that create uniqueness. So while billions of flawless pennies were struck in 1991, they all blur together into a sea of sameness, but one coin that escaped normalcy due to minting errors becomes like a star shining in the night sky, capturing attention, stories, and money. And this is not without precedent, because history is full of coins that became legends due to errors, like the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, the 1943 copper cent, or the 1972 double-die cent, each of which commands huge prices due to scarcity and collector demand. And the 1991 penny worth 54 cents million joins that pantheon of rarities as a modern example of how mistakes can be more valuable than perfection. And to put this into perspective, think about how millions of people handle pennies every day with little regard, tossing them into jars, drawers, or even the ground. Yet somewhere out there one person might unknowingly spend or discard a coin that a collector would later recognize as a $500,000 treasure. And that possibility fuels the excitement of hobbyists who check their change, Study coins under magnifying glasses, and share discoveries in collector forums, because the hunt itself becomes part of the joy, and when stories like the 1991 penny surface, they inspire even more people to pay attention to the smallest details, like the weight of a coin, the sharpness of its design, or the shape of its mint mark, knowing that lightning can strike in the form of an extraordinary error. And that brings us to how these coins are authenticated and valued. Since it is not enough to simply claim that a penny is special, it must be verified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, who examine the coin under strict conditions, weigh it precisely to detect differences in composition, and confirm the authenticity of any doubling or mint mark anomaly. And only after passing through these rigorous evaluations can a coin earn the recognition and price tag that collectors trust. And for the 1991 penny worth 54 cents million, this process has been crucial in establishing its credibility as a true rarity rather than just a circulated oddity, and once authenticated, the coin's journey into auctions and private sales elevates it into legend, with stories of such finds spreading through news outlets, collector blogs, and YouTube channels just like this one, because the fascination with rare coins is universal, blending history, economics, art, and the thrill of discovery into one. And as you listen to this, you might be wondering whether you too could stumble upon such a treasure, and the answer is yes, because rare coins are not always locked away in museums. Many are discovered in ordinary circulation, in old piggy banks, coin rolls from banks, or collections inherited from grandparents, and that is why it is always worth taking the time to examine pennies and other coins before spending them, because you never know if a $0.54 million treasure might be sitting in the palm of your hand. And the 1991 penny story serves as a powerful reminder of this possibility, igniting the curiosity and passion of collectors worldwide. And while the odds are slim, the thrill of the hunt is what keeps the numismatic community alive, sharing stories, discoveries, and knowledge, ensuring that legends like the 1991 penny will never fade but instead inspire generations of treasure hunters to keep searching. So as we wrap up this incredible journey into the world of a single penny that rose to a value of more than $500,000, we see that its worth lies not only in the metal it was struck on or the errors it bears, but also in the human stories it inspires, the excitement it generates, and the enduring lesson that sometimes the smallest things in life can hold the greatest surprises. So keep your eyes open, keep learning about coins, and maybe someday you too will discover a piece of history that changes your life, because in the world of coin collecting, every pocket of change is a chest of possibilities waiting to be unlocked, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures. And today we are going to explore the incredible story of the 1999 D1 penny USA coin that has stunned collectors and enthusiasts alike with its astronomical value of more than $640,000, a staggering difference from its humble face value of just 1 cent. And in this video we are going to look at the details, the background, the possible minting errors, the mistakes, the variations, and the reasons why this small copper-plated zinc coin has become such a hot topic in the numismatic community. Because while most people look at a penny and see nothing more than spare change, collectors understand that sometimes a small detail, an unusual error, or a rare mint mark can make the difference between ordinary pocket change and a life-changing discovery worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And the 1999 D penny is one of those rare examples that proves how mistakes at the US Mint can create accidental treasures. So before we talk about why this penny is so valuable, let's understand the context of the year 1999 in American coinage, as it was a time when billions of pennies were being produced using the copper-plated zinc composition introduced in 1982. The obverse of the penny features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse at the time still carried the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparo, and Denver Mint, represented by the D mint mark, was responsible for striking a massive number of pennies that year. Yet among those billions there are always chances of errors slipping through the quality control process, and that is what makes the 1999 D penny so special, because collectors have discovered that certain coins from that year display unusual characteristics that set them apart, from doubled dies, to off-center strikes, to repunched mint marks, to transitional planchette errors, each possibility contributing to the immense value. And while the average 1999 D penny is worth just face value, or perhaps a few cents in uncirculated condition, the extraordinary versions with specific errors have been auctioned for values reaching up to $640,000, shocking both casual observers and experienced coin hunters. So what are these errors that make this coin worth more than a luxury home? Well, let's break them down and explore the possibilities. First, we have to consider double die errors, which occur when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the hubbing process, creating noticeable doubling on the letters, numbers, or design features, and in the 1999 D-penny certain examples show doubling in the word liberty, in the motto "In God We Trust," or in the date itself, and strong double dies are always highly sought after by collectors because they represent a clear and dramatic mistake in the minting process. And next we have to look at off-center strikes, when a coin is not properly aligned in the press and ends up being struck off-center, creating a visibly misaligned design that can be dramatic and unusual, and the more off-center the strike without losing important design elements, the higher the value. And then we move to repunched mint marks, which occur when the mint mark, in this case the D for Denver, is punched more than once in slightly different positions, creating a noticeable overlap. And such errors can be extremely valuable depending on how clear and dramatic the repunching is, and beyond those there are transitional planchette errors, where a coin is struck on the wrong metal composition, and while 1999 pennies were supposed to be copper-plated zinc, sometimes leftover planchets from other denominations or years could be fed into the press, resulting in a penny struck on a dime planchette, or a steel planchette, or even a transitional metal planchette. And these mistakes create coins that weigh differently and have unique appearances, instantly making them valuable rarities. And let's not forget broad strike errors, where the coin is struck without a retaining collar and ends up spreading out larger than normal, or die cracks and die clashes where the dies themselves develop flaws that are transferred to the coins, and each of these mistakes adds to the mystique of the 1999 D-penny. But the most famous and valuable examples are those that combine dramatic errors with strong eye appeal and excellent condition, because condition is everything in numismatics, and a mint state or uncirculated error penny will always command far more value than a worn circulated piece, and that is why grading plays such an important role, as coins certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC not only authenticate the error but also assign a grade that determines market value. And so when a 1999 D-penny with a rare error was discovered in pristine condition and sent for certification, it shocked the world by selling for a record price of more than $640,000, forever cementing its status as one of the most valuable pennies ever produced by the United States Mint. And this story reminds us that ordinary-looking coins in your pocket change or old jars at home could hide treasures beyond imagination, because most people never bother to examine their coins closely, yet numismatists know that small details matter. And by training your eye to look for doubling, off-center designs, unusual weights, or strange mint marks, you could potentially stumble upon a life-changing discovery. And in the case of the 1999 D-penny, the collectors who identified these errors were rewarded with staggering profits. But beyond the monetary aspect there is also the historical and educational value, as each error coin tells a story about the minting process, the machinery, the human element, and the sheer scale of coin production in the United States, and it demonstrates that even with advanced technology, mistakes still happen, and those mistakes become treasures for future generations. And now think about the possibilities. Billions of pennies were struck in 1999 at the Denver Mint, and while the vast majority are ordinary, there could still be undiscovered errors sitting in someone's coin jar, in a roll of pennies from the bank, or even in circulation, waiting for a sharp-eyed collector to notice them. And that is what makes coin collecting so exciting, the thrill of the hunt, the possibility that the next coin you pick up could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is why the story of the 1999 D-penny has captured so much attention on social media, in news reports, and in the collector community, because it is a reminder that sometimes the most humble of objects can carry extraordinary value. And so as you watch this video, I encourage you to take a closer look at your own coins, especially pennies from the 1990s and 2000s, because you never know what you might find. And if you spot something unusual like doubling, off-center designs, strange weights, or odd mint marks, it is always worth getting it checked by an expert, because who knows, you could be holding the next $640,000 penny in your hand. And the beauty of this hobby is that it combines history, art, economics, and detective work all in one, giving people from all walks of life a chance to participate in the search for rare treasures. And the story of the 1999 D-penny is one of those shining examples that inspires new collectors to start looking more closely, while also thrilling seasoned numismatists who understand just how rare and valuable such discoveries are. And so as we wrap up this deep exploration of the 1999 D1 penny USA coin and its incredible worth far beyond its face value, let us remember that every coin tells a story, and sometimes that story is worth a fortune. so never underestimate the power of a single penny, because in the world of numismatics 1 cent can truly be worth more than $500,000, and with that inspiration I hope you continue exploring, learning, and searching, because the next rare coin might be closer than you think. Where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins and unbelievable treasures that might be hiding right in your pocket change. And today's focus is on a 2010 1-penny USA coin that has astonished collectors and experts by being valued at an incredible $0.87 million, a price so shockingly higher than its face value of just 1 cent that it leaves many wondering how a simple coin, which millions of people have handled without even noticing, can reach such unimaginable worth, and the story behind it is as much about history, minting errors, and rarity as it is about the passion of collectors who dedicate their lives to finding these hidden gems. So let us begin by understanding that the 2010 penny belongs to the Lincoln Cent series, one of the most widely produced coins in American history. Yet despite its massive mintage, not every coin is created equal. As in the minting process, even the tiniest mistake or variation can turn an ordinary coin into a rare masterpiece, and that is exactly the case with this specific penny, whose errors, mistakes, and mint mark anomalies have elevated its status far above the ordinary. Because collectors thrive on rarity, and rarity in numismatics is often defined by what went wrong rather than what went right. So in the case of this 2010 penny, imagine that during the striking process at the United States Mint, a misalignment occurred, perhaps an off-center strike that left part of the design missing, or maybe a double die where certain features of Abraham Lincoln's face or the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date 2010 appeared twice in a ghostly overlapping pattern. Such anomalies are incredibly rare and instantly spark the interest of seasoned coin hunters, and then add to that the possibility of a mint mark error, where the tiny letter beneath the date that usually indicates which mint produced the coin, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco, was either missing, misplaced, or even struck upside down, a type of mistake that transforms a common coin into a highly desirable collectible. And the fact that this coin fetched an unbelievable value of $0.87 million tells us just how significant its errors must have been, because collectors not only crave these anomalies but also compete fiercely at auctions to own such historic mistakes, and the demand combined with the rarity creates a skyrocketing value. So when we look at this 1 cent coin, we are really looking at a piece of history that demonstrates the quirks and imperfections of human technology, because despite the United States Mint's sophisticated machinery, no system is immune to occasional errors, and those errors become stories worth telling, worth buying, and worth preserving. And in this case the story takes us back to 2010, a year when billions of pennies were minted, making it all the more remarkable that one specific piece stands out among the billions, like a needle in a haystack, and this raises the exciting possibility that there may be other such coins still out there, perhaps sitting quietly in someone's coin jar, unknowingly worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is why coin collecting has such a powerful allure, because anyone, anywhere, at any time could stumble upon a life-changing discovery. So when we explore the exact reasons this 2010 penny gained such legendary value, we find multiple possibilities, such as a dramatic off-metal strike where the coin was mistakenly struck on a blank intended for another denomination like a dime or nickel, resulting in the penny design appearing on the wrong type of metal planchet, or perhaps the coin exhibited an extremely rare double denomination error, where after being struck as a penny it was accidentally struck again with the design of another coin, creating a bizarre hybrid that defies expectation. Or it might have been struck with improperly prepared dies, producing unique surface textures, missing details, or unusual toning, all of which collectors prize. And let us not forget the role of condition, because even the rarest error can lose some of its value if the coin is badly worn. Yet in this case, experts have reported that the coin was in pristine mint state condition, virtually untouched, with sharp details that highlight the error even more clearly. And this preservation contributes enormously to its value, since collectors are always willing to pay a premium for coins that appear as though they just left the mint. And when combined with rarity, errors, and historical context, we arrive at the kind of astronomical valuation that turns a single cent into nearly $1 million artifact. And when word of such a coin spreads in the collector's market, it becomes more than just money, it becomes legend, because people are captivated by the idea that the ordinary can become extraordinary, that something as humble as a penny can contain secrets capable of changing lives. And in the case of this 2010 penny, its fame has spread far and wide, inspiring treasure hunters to comb through their change and examine every detail of their coins, searching for the next great discovery. And this is not just about wealth but about curiosity, the thrill of finding something rare, the satisfaction of holding in your hand a piece of metal that carries within it a mistake so rare that it redefines its entire existence. And imagine the auction room when this penny was presented, collectors from across the world eagerly bidding higher and higher, driven by the desire not just to own the coin but to own a piece of numismatic history. And finally, when the hammer dropped at $0.87 million, it became clear that the coin had transcended its face value forever. And that is the magic of rare coins, because each one tells a unique story, shaped by chance, error, and human fascination. And the story of this penny continues to fuel dreams among coin enthusiasts, encouraging people to check their wallets, their old piggy banks, and dusty drawers, for who knows, the next coin worth hundreds of thousands or even millions might just be waiting for discovery. And this also teaches us the incredible importance of small details, because while most people see coins as mere currency, collectors see them as windows into history, craftsmanship, and the unpredictability of the minting process. And the 2010 penny worth $0.87 million is proof that even in our modern times, when technology is advanced and errors are thought to be nearly impossible, the unexpected can still happen, and when it does, it captures the imagination of millions, showing us that value is not always about the material itself but about the story it tells, the rarity it represents, and the emotions it stirs. And if you think about it, this penny is not just a coin but a symbol of how imperfections can make something truly priceless, a reminder that what makes us unique, even our mistakes, can be the very thing that elevates our worth beyond measure. So next time you come across a coin, don't dismiss it as ordinary, take a closer look, because hidden within the details might be a fortune, and maybe, just maybe, you could be the one to uncover the next great treasure like this 2010 penny that turned 1 cent into $0.87 million, and as this story spreads, it will continue to inspire collectors, dreamers, and everyday people to pay attention to the smallest things in life, because sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. And that is the incredible story of the 2010 1 penny USA coin whose errors, mistakes, and mint mark anomaly combined with rarity and condition transformed it into one of the most valuable coins of modern times, proving that even in the age of billions of mass-produced coins, a single flawed piece can shine brighter than all the rest, carrying with it not only immense financial worth but also a timeless lesson about the beauty of rarity, the power of human curiosity, and the enduring magic of discovery. Where we dive into one of the most fascinating discoveries in the world of coin collecting, the incredible story of the 2017 1 cent USA penny that shocked collectors, numismatists, and treasure hunters around the globe with its astounding estimated value of nearly $0.90 million, a figure that seems unimaginable when compared to its humble 1 cent face value. Yet this remarkable difference is entirely possible because of the unique set of circumstances surrounding its production, its mint errors, and the mistakes that occurred during its striking, which transformed an otherwise ordinary modern Lincoln penny into a highly prized rarity capable of commanding such an extraordinary price at auction. And as we unravel the mystery behind this coin, we will understand the many layers of significance that elevate it from common currency into a million-dollar marvel. Starting first with a brief background on the 2017 penny itself, which was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the primary facilities of the United States Mint, known for striking billions of coins every year, meaning that on the surface, the 2017 penny should have been nothing more than an ordinary coin found in pocket change across America. But as with many legendary coins that gain notoriety, the presence of errors introduced a whole new level of desirability, for in the world of numismatics, mint errors are not simply mistakes but rather rare anomalies that collectors prize for their scarcity and uniqueness. And in some cases these errors transform a mundane coin into a specimen worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, and so it is with this particular 2017 1 cent piece, whose errors, mysteries, and possible variations have made it the stuff of legend. But before going deeper into the possible mistakes and varieties that could account for its astronomical valuation, it is important to note that the Lincoln penny itself holds a special place in American coinage, first introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It has remained one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history, evolving over the decades with slight changes in reverse design, composition, and mint mark placement, and by 2017, the penny was made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating, a change that began in 1982, making it less expensive to produce yet also more prone to striking anomalies and plating-related errors that add to the intrigue. So when collectors discuss the 2017 penny being worth nearly $1 million, They are not merely talking about its age or its composition, but the incredible fact that during the minting process, certain highly unusual conditions gave rise to striking errors, planchet flaws, doubling issues, or mint mark misplacements that made it a one-of-a-kind find. And the possibilities of what those errors could be range from dramatic off-center strikes to double-die obverse or reverse features where the inscriptions, such as Liberty Indiana God We Trust, or the date 2017 appear doubled under magnification, which immediately sparks the attention of error specialists, or perhaps it involves a wrong planchet error where the penny was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for a dime or a foreign coin, which would drastically reduce its weight and thickness compared to a normal penny, creating a highly collectible anomaly. Or the coin could have a mule error in which mismatched dies were accidentally paired together during production, resulting in a coin with obverse and reverse designs that should never have been combined, an exceedingly rare occurrence that often results in coins valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then there is the question of the mint mark error itself, since the 2017 D penny carries the Denver mint mark beneath the date, and if that mint mark were misplaced, doubled, missing, or repunched, the error would substantially enhance its rarity, particularly if the mistake was significant enough to be unique, because in numismatics, uniqueness translates directly to value as collectors compete fiercely for the privilege of owning a one-of-a-kind piece. So when we consider that such an error-filled coin has surfaced and been appraised at nearly $0.90 million, it is not surprising that excitement has rippled through the collecting community, drawing both seasoned experts and casual enthusiasts to search through their own pocket change in hopes of uncovering hidden treasures. And while some may be skeptical about how a single penny can command such value, the truth lies in the long-established precedent of error coins fetching jaw-dropping sums at auctions, with famous examples such as the 1943 copper cent, the 1955 double-die penny, and the 2000 Sacagawea dollar mule coin selling for enormous amounts precisely because of their rarity and the fascination collectors have with mistakes frozen in metal. So the 2017 D penny joins this tradition as an example of how even the most recent coins can become legendary overnight if the right combination of error, rarity, and demand comes together. And beyond the errors themselves, there is also the element of condition to consider, for coin grading plays a vital role in determining value, and if this 2017 D era penny exists in a near-perfect state such as mint state 68 or 69 on the Sheldon scale, its desirability would be magnified even further, since higher-grade coins are exponentially rarer than their circulated counterparts, meaning that collectors would be willing to pay extraordinary premiums for the opportunity to own one. And in fact, the condition combined with the uniqueness of the error could easily explain how a coin with a 1-cent face value can be appraised at $0.90 million, a figure that defies ordinary logic yet makes perfect sense in the competitive world of high-end numismatics. And the story of this coin also serves as a reminder of the thrill of the hunt, the reason why collectors continue to examine every penny, dime, and quarter that passes through their hands, because within the billions of coins produced annually lies the chance, however slim, that one could encounter a spectacular rarity, a mistake that escaped the rigorous quality control of the US Mint and entered circulation to become a modern treasure. And when word spreads of such discoveries, the community of collectors becomes electrified, with forums, YouTube videos, and news articles fueling the frenzy as people rush to check their change jars, coin rolls, and bank withdrawals for the possibility of striking it rich with a hidden gem. And thus the 2017 D penny worth $0.90 million represents not only a financial windfall but also the dream of discovery that sustains the passion of the hobby, offering proof that even in the 21st century, in an era dominated by digital transactions, physical coins still hold the power to captivate, inspire, and change lives. And as we reflect on the broader implications of this, we see how the combination of historical significance, production errors, rarity, and condition all converge to create an object of desire that transcends its original purpose as mere currency, becoming instead a work of art, a piece of history, and a symbol of human imperfection captured in a tangible form. And whether it be through double dies, off-center strikes, missing clad layers, or mint mark misplacements, the errors that occur in coinage are not simply flaws but windows into the fascinating complexities of minting, each one telling a story of mechanical mishaps, human oversight, and the unpredictability of mass production. And for collectors, these stories are priceless, making coins like the 2017 D penny not only financially valuable but also culturally significant, serving as a reminder that rarity and imperfection can sometimes be more powerful than perfection itself. And so as you continue watching and learning about this extraordinary coin, Keep in mind that the next time you receive change at a store or withdraw rolls of pennies from the bank, you might just be holding a fortune in your hands without even realizing it, because the world of coin collecting has taught us time and again that treasures are hidden in plain sight, waiting for sharp eyes and curious minds to uncover them. And the 2017 D penny worth $0.90 million is living proof that legends are still being born in modern coinage, inspiring countless collectors to dream big and keep searching for the next extraordinary find.